Hey, what's going on everybody? JJ Wilson here. And with this video, we're going to do a special little movie review. This is something I don't normally do. But this is going to be about the recent Sonic the Hedgehog film. For those that have not seen it. I'm not going to go too deep into how it ends and everything. But overall, my thoughts on the movie, it was a pretty funny film. I'm not even going to lie. There was a lot of instances where Sonic and the dude, the Donut Lord guy, that's the name that he calls him. The guy he kept tagging around, and he eventually befriended him and everything. Like they all, they got into these crazy situations because Sonic was just so naive about the world. He never really experienced what it was like to actually live amongst other humans and stuff. He like in the movie, it just implies that he fled there from another planet. It doesn't exactly tell you where he's from, but it's like a different planet than Earth. And so he got there by using the rings and everything. So yeah, he had been living like the past decade on Earth, just observing humans and copying their interactions and mimicking their behaviors and stuff like that. And eventually he learns how to talk like them too. So that's how he's able to communicate with the Donut Lord guy. And so yeah, like there's a bunch of instances where they both them dudes was just acting a fool, man, and so was Dr. Robotnik, aka Skinny Robotnik, with Jim Carrey. And yeah, it's kind of funny to see Jim Carrey still do what he's doing, man, as a comedian. Cause I remember this guy way back in the Mask. Like we're talking about the '90s here. That's how long it's been, man. Like it, that was like one of the first movies I've seen him act. And just to go from there, some 25 years later, to see him play Dr. Robotnik is pretty crazy. Man, he showed out in that movie too, man. Them dancing around and all that stuff. So yeah, overall, it's a funny film. I'm not even gonna lie, and I'm surprised they didn't use any profanity. I don't recall them using any kind of foul language in the movie. Maybe a little bit, but I can't really remember. I have to watch it again to see if they actually made Sonic curse or made Dr. Robotnik curse, but I don't think any of them did anything like that. But be as it may, let me just go over some of the things that had me scratching my head with the film. You know, I think the first issue was the part where Sonic eventually makes it to San Francisco, because that's the place where he lost his rings at when he was trying to escape from the government slash Dr. Robotnik's pursuit. Yeah, the U.S. government is involved in this. And you guys notice how in these games, you know, it was just Dr. Robotnik. This is the other issue I'm gonna tie in, but let me go back to the part with in San Francisco with Sonic. So there's a scene where they pretty much, okay, the Donut Lord guy, he pretty much tells Sonic, okay, this is the place where you lost your rings, right? It's like, yep, I think that's it, yep. And so Sonic, he quickly dashes inside the building and goes all the way at the very top, and then next thing you know, he comes right back to the Donut Lord guy and his wife, and he's like, oh, well, the door's locked, I can't get inside. I'm thinking to myself, wait a minute. Now, in the beginning of the movie, Sonic was running up and down canyons, going through loops like it was nothing as a little baby. Like he's doing all this crazy stuff, running fast, jumping high in the air. Like he's doing all this stuff at 2 years old. So you mean tell me an older, more powerful Sonic cannot go literally run vertical up the Trans-Pacific building in downtown San Francisco? He can just run outside the building, like do like a little, I don't know, run vertical, or just go around in a circle real fast on top of the building and get the rings? You mean tell me he couldn't do that by himself? That's the part that had me scratching my head like, hold on, man. You could have easily got them rings. And then you see what they had to do to go up to the top of the building and get the rings. And I'm like, really? He didn't need y'all's help. He didn't need their help to get the rings. He could have got it on his own. And speaking of help, now let's go back to Dr. Robotnik. Now, if you notice in this particular film, he has human help. Even though the human help did very little in this movie, they were just there as comic relief. They weren't really there to actually enhance Dr. Robotnik's search. His machines did all that. which makes sense because in the games, he's using his machines and his technology and his innovations to try to be Sonic. So he never had any other human interference. I don't even remember him using that even in the Sonic X series, the animated series that came out in the early 2000s. So we knew about Chris, Sonic's friend, human friend in that show, but I don't recall Dr. Eggman using any kind of human help in that particular animated series. I don't recall. Maybe you guys, if you remember that anime, that show, Sonic X, if Dr. Robotnik, Dr. Eggman, if you had any kind of human interactions and help, then yeah, just tell me in the comments section, because I can't recall at all. I can't recall any time that Dr. Robotnik had human help or assistance. But in this Sonic the Hedgehog film 2020, he has human help, even though he he pretty much roasts the guy, his assistant, like, this is why I don't like humans. They're unreliable. Oh man. So yeah, I know that's two of the things on top of my head that I know for sure that had me scratching my head. The fact that Dr. Robotnik, he had humans helping him out. He's working for the government. Sorta, he's kind of working for them, but it's some classified stuff. And we know in the games he never worked for any kind of nation of any kind. It was just him. It was all Dr. Eggman. And then yeah, the part where Sonic is going up the building, and then next thing you know, he can't get the rings because he's saying the door's locked. And I'm like, dude, you could have easily got them rings. You didn't need to go inside the building. You could have just ran up the building, got the rings, came right back down. You guys know what I'm talking about when you actually watch the film. That was the main thing that had me scratching my head. Now, one thing before I end this off, one thing I will say is I'm actually surprised that the developers took the time to hash his background, like his early background. Like I said, like him coming from another planet, him having a caretaker. That's something that I was kind of surprised at them seeing. So, because nobody never really touched on his backstory, not that I know of. Maybe it's on his wiki or something. Sonic. Yeah, so I had to burp. Yeah, that was something that was interesting because I didn't know that, nobody knew really where he came from or anything like that. So maybe it was implied, here's another spoiler. It was implied that Tails, after the movie was over, like Tails comes in there and he's looking for Sonic. So apparently, I'm not sure how Tails knew it was Sonic or anything like that. If they do another movie in the future, then they gotta touch on that. They gotta touch on why Tails is looking for Sonic in the first place, and what's the reason. And I remember on the way back taking my brother home, we were talking about this. He was mentioning that it may have something to do with the Chaos Emeralds, and that might be the case. That may very well be the case. The next time they might touch on that and what that could mean moving forward if they continue this real life series of Sonic in these movies and stuff. But that's all I could kind of think of. Yeah, overall it's a funny film. It's just those particular scenarios that just kind of had me scratching my head. Like, it's kind of, in a way, it was kind of unnecessary, and I think they kind of did that just to get some comedy out of it and to get some extra action in. But those are some little things that kind of threw me off a little bit, in a sense, over the movie. If I could think of something else, I can come back and add on. But anyway, that's going to be it for the little review or whatever. Decent film. Not going to lie, it wasn't a bad film, but it was just some stuff, those little tidbits that I mentioned that kind of threw me off, about the development of Sonic and Dr. Robotnik. But anyway, that's it from here. Check you all later.